stomach. Now you see this abdominal part of this esophagus. It is about 1.25 centimeter long and makes an abrupt turn to the left from this esophageal opening of this diaphragm to the cardiac orifice of the stomach. The subdiaphragmatic esophagus is compressed on all sides like the Fulter vallet during this increased intra-abdominal pressure. So these one are the esophagus or abdominal part of this esophagus. At the end of this lecture, students should be able to explain the anatomy of this lower end of this esophagus, explain the clinical aspect of esophagus like esophageal constriction and portosystemic anastomosis at the lower end of this esophagus. Explain the anatomy of the stomach with focus on the shape, division, relation, interior structures of and blood supply, now supply lymphatic drainage, and explain the applied anatomy aspect of the stomach like gastric ulcer, gastric carcinoma, gastric pain, and gastroscopy. So here you can see this abdominal part of this esophagus. So abdominal part of this esophagus enter in the abdomen through the esophagus opening of this diaphragm at the T10 vertebral level. It related to the anteriorly left lobe of this liver and posteriorly left crus of this diaphragm. So these are, you see this anteriorly, this one are the trachea and posteriorly esophagus. This one are the thoracic part of this esophagus and this portion are the abdominal part of this esophagus. Here the esophageal opening at the diaphragm at the level of this 10 thoracic vertebra, and it continue with this cardiac part of the stomach to form cardioesophagus junction. So blood supply and the nerve supply of the abdominal part of this esophagus, it's supplied by this arterial supply left gastric artery from the celiac trunk and the venous drainage left gastric vein tributaries of this portal vein, lymphatic drainage left gastric and the celiac lymph node, and the nerve supply by the abdominal part of the esophagus, both parasympathetic and the sympathetic. Parasympathetic innervated by the vagus nerve and sympathetic innervated by the thoracic sympathetic chain. So these one are the anatomical sphincter at the cardioesophageal junction is not observed, but a physiological sphincter does exist as the demonstrated by resting luminal pressure of the 10 to 50 cm of this factor water. The physiological anatomy of the gastroesophageal junction is complex, particularly in the understanding the factor preventing the reflex of the gastric content and allowing the vomiting or the eruption. So this one are the abdominal part of this esophagus. Now clinical aspect of this esophagus. First, esophageal constriction. So esophagus has a three constrictor at its upper end where it joins the pharynx, near its middle where it is crossed by the arch of the aorta and left main bronchus, near its lower end where it pierces the diaphragm. The approximate distance from the incisor teeth to this constriction are 6, 10 and 16 inches and respectively. From the external nares to this constriction are 7.2, 11.2 and 17.2 inches respectively. So this one are the esophageal constriction. Why should knowledge about this esophageal constriction? Any difficulty to swallow the food bolus, so there may be insertion of this rice tube within this stomach. For the nutrition purpose, liquid can drop into this rice tube. So here there is a, during this insertion of this rice tube from the incisor tooth to 6 inch, this one the first constriction, then this one at the arch of aorta 10 inches, this one at the second constrictor, and this one at the third constriction. So from the external nares, here there is a 3 esophageal constriction at the cardiac end of this esophageal part. So portosystemic venous anastomosis of the lower end of this esophagus is an important site for the portal systemic anastomotic. Between these esophageal tributaries of the azygous vein, systemic and the left gastric vein portal. Importance in case of this portal obstruction in cirrhosis of the liver, portal hypertension occur, it results in dilatation of this anastomosis and form the esophageal varices. This varicose vein or the varices may rupture and cause the severe bleeding in the stomach and the vomiting of the blood, known as the hematemesis. when there is a portal systemic venous anastomosis occur at the lower end of this esophagus. If this vein are rupture, these are the esophageal varices. If it is a rupture, it may cause the severe bleeding, blood in vomiting. This clinical condition known as the hematemesis. Now you see this esophagus varices. When you take the X-ray, here you can see this lower end of the esophagus. Here there is a dilatation of this venous circulation. So this clinical symptom name is given the esophagus varices. Here the portal system and systemic circulation get anastomosis to form the portocaval anastomosis. So eclasia cardia, this one are the clinical condition. There is a physiological narrowing of this constriction at the cardioesophageal junction. So eclasia cardia, it is the failure of this function of the gastroesophageal junction. So here cause is unknown, but they associate with this degeneration of this parasympathetic plexus in the wall of this esophagus, because this one are the physiological anatomy of this gastroesophageal junction is complex, particularly in the understanding the factor preventing the reflux of the gastric content and allowing the vomiting or the eruption. So here there is a factor preventing the gastroesophageal reflux because of the flutter valve action of this obliquely directed subdiaphragmatic esophagus, the projection of this mucosal fold at the cardiac notch, the phrenoesophageal membrane hold the cardioesophageal junction. A mucosal rosette in the abdominal esophageal act as a watertight plug and pinch cook action of this esophageal opening of the diaphragm. Another factor facilitating the vomiting or the erucation when the intragastric pressure is increased, mobility of this cardiac end of the stomach by the elastic nature of this phrenoesophageal membrane. This is associated with this transient widening of this esophageal hiatus. So these are the clinical symptom or the physiological sphincter known as the esophagus cardioesophageal junction. So what is the eclasia cardia? So here there is a cause is unknown associated with this degeneration of this parasympathetic plexus in the wall of this esophagus. It led to this dysphagia, difficulty in swallowing and regurgitation. Later on it led to the distal narrowing and the proximal dilatation of this esophagus. This one are the eclasia cardia. So now second topic is stomach. So stomach is a dilated part of this GIT or the responsible for the storage and mixing of this food. Position occupy the left hypochondrium, epigastrium and the umbilical region. Shape of the stomach in tall and thin person, it is J-shape, elongated vertically. In short and obese person, Stirhorn shape, high and transversely placed. So this one are the muscular bag or the most dilated part of the digestive tube. The intervenes between this esophagus and the duodenum. It acts as a reservoir of this food. Convert the food into the chylme of the uniform consistency due to the repeated currying along the digestion of the protein to protease and the peptones. So it helps in digestion of this food. So this one are the muscular bag for the reservoir of food and digestion of this food. So you see this position in the shape of the stomach, position in the right epigastric region, and it in stomach occupied the part of the left hypochondrium, epigastrium and umbilical region, and its shape is it is roughly J-shape, elongated vertically in the tall end person, and Stirhorn shape, high and transversely positioned in short obese person. So this one the different shape depending upon the body of this person. So now features. So stomach has a two end, this one at the cardiac end and this one at the pyloric end. So pyloric end, here there is a junction between this pyloroduodenal junction. It is the part of the small intestine, and here there is a pyloric part of the stomach and cardiac end of the stomach. So cardiac notch, this part name is given this cardiac notch, and this one at the body of the stomach, it further divide into this fundic part of the stomach and body of the stomach. And here there is a pyloric antrum and pyloric canal. And this constriction portion at the pyloric part name is given this angularis incisura. This curvature on this right side name is given this lesser curvature. On the left side larger curvature name is given the greater curvature. So it has a two end and two surface and two border. One at cardiac end of the stomach, second end is a pyloric end of this stomach. So situation moderate gastric content and occupied the epigastric, left hypochondrium and umbilical region. So this one are the position of the stomach and presenting part. So first cardiac orifice. So cardiac orifice, it is situated about the 2.5 cm left of the median plan, behind the left 7 costal cartilage, opposite it 12 vertebra and 10 cm, deep to the anterior abdominal wall and 40 cm away from the incisor teeth. So this one are the two orific, cardiac and pyloric, two curvature, lesser and greater curvature, and two surface, anterior superior and the posterior inferior surface, and three subdivision, fundus, body and pyloric part of the stomach. So this one are the two opening features of the stomach, and there is or the opening cardiac end or the opening upper end at the junction with this esophagus, pyloric end opening lower end at the junction with this first part of this duodenum. It has a two border or the curvature, lesser curvature and greater curvature. Lesser curvature right border extend from the right side of the cardiac end to the pyloric end. It is concave. Its maximum concavity is known as the angular notch or the incisura angularis. It is attached to liver by the lesser omentum. Greater curvature or the left border extend from the left side of the cardiac end, follow the fundus of the stomach to pyloric end. It is convex. It is attached to the spleen by the gastrosplenic ligament in upper part and to transverse colon by the greater omentum in the rest of the part. So this one are the of the stomach. You see this diagram, this one are the lesser omentum, here there is a greater omentum, this one are the cardiac part of the stomach, this one are the cardiac notch, fundus of the stomach, this one are the body of the stomach, this part are the greater curvature of the stomach, and this one are the greater omentum. This line name is attached with this angular notch or the incisura, and it is divided into this pyloric canal and pyloric antrum. The small part of the pyloric antrum, and then the distal part name is given this pyloric canal. So this one is the pyloric part. It junction with this duodenum to form pyloroduodenal junction. So cardiac notch, it is the physiological sphincter, and pyloric part, this one anatomical sphincter. So in stomach and its connection with right side there is a liver, here there is a lesser omentum, this one is the transverse colon, inferiorly there is a greater omentum, this one is the gastrosplenic ligament, and here there is a spleen. So this one are the cardiac orifice, pyloric orifice, and there is a relation of this cardiac orifice in front curve with the peritoneum and the overlap by the left lobe of this liver. Behind it is non-peritoneal over a triangular bare area and connect with this left crus of this diaphragm by gastrophrenic ligament. Sometimes a part of this left suprarenal gland innervate between this cardiac orifice and the left crus. Now at the pyloric orifice. So here this one are the pyloric orifice. So pyloric orifice, it is the anatomical sphincter. This one are the pyloric orifice. So it is demarcated by the constriction and is identified in the living by the pre-pyloric vein of this myome. The pre-pyloric end is thicker, more superficial and the more movable than the cardiac end. Sometimes it is bile stain. After the death, the pyloric orifice remain open in empty stomach. So this one are the different part of the stomach. So features of the stomach means surface. Here there is an anterior surface between this lesser and greater curvature facing anteriorly. Posterior surface between the lesser and greater curvature facing posteriorly. Now first anterior surface. Covered by the peritoneum by the greater sac. It is related to the liver, left lobe and the caudate lobe, spleen, anterior abdominal wall, diaphragm, which separate stomach from the left pleura, left lung and lower ribs. And you see this anterior relation of the stomach. Here there is a anterior superior surface. It is entirely covered with this peritoneum of the greater sac and present there is a on the right part extending from the cardiac orifice to pyloric antrum, including the lesser curvature. It comes in contact with the gastric impression of the left lobe and the caudate lobe of this liver. Upper and left part including this funduct and the part of this body. So it related to the diaphragm beneath the left costal margin. Sometimes the gastric impression of the spleen innervate between the fundus of the stomach and the diaphragm. Outside the diaphragm, it is related to the left pleura, base of this left lung, pericardium, heart, and the 6 to 9 costal cartilage of the left side, and their intercostal space. So this one are the anterior relation. Now intermediate triangular part, it come in contact with this anterior abdominal wall when the stomach is empty. Transverse colon appear in the lower part of the triangular area. So this one are the special feature on the anterior superior surface. Anterior superior surface, here you see this triangular area name is given this gastric triangle. So this triangle or the gastric triangle, it is very important because through this triangle it is the area of the stomach, it contact with this anterior abdominal wall and present the following boundary. So right side there is a lower border of this liver, left side left costal margin, below there is a transverse colon. So this one are the liver, left costal margin, and below there is a transverse colon. So this triangle name is given this gastric triangle. In incomplete esophageal obstruction, a tube is introduced in the stomach through the gastric triangle for the feeding the patient. Name is given this gastrostomy operation. So this space name is given this gastric triangle. Now another triangle name is given this trapezius triangle. It is topographic area overlying the fundus of the stomach and is tympanic on percussion. So which are the boundary of this trapezius area? So trapezius area above lower border of this left lung, below left costal margin, right side there is a lower border of this left lobe of this liver. The left side there is a lateral end of this spleen. So this area name is given this trapezius space, may be obliterated by the enlargement of the liver, spleen, or in pleural effusion. So this surface are the anterior relation of the stomach. Here there is a two important triangle. One it is the gastric triangle, another it is the trapezius triangle. Now this one are the posterior surface. So posterior surface covered by the peritoneum of the lesser sac except near the cardiac end. Structures related to the posterior surface also known as the stomach bed. So here there is a asking some short note, write down the stomach bed or the posterior relation of the stomach is very important, separated by the cavity of the lesser sac. So which are the structures forming the stomach bed or the posterior relation? First there is a left cross of this diaphragm, abdominal aorta, left inferior phrenic artery, celiac trunk, splenic artery, body of this pancreas, left kidney, left suprarenal gland, transverse colon, transverse mesocolon, spleen separated by the cavity of this greater sac. So this area name is given the stomach bed. You see this diagram? So this one are this posterior relation of this stomach. So posterior relation of the stomach or the stomach bed, it is covered with peritoneum of the lesser sac except the bare area. This surface is related to the number of the structures which are the called as the stomach bed. The stomach bed is covered with this peritoneum of the lesser sac and form a shell of fossa upon which stomach rests in recumbent supine position. So the stomach bed consists of the left cross of this diaphragm, left suprarenal gland, anterior surface of this left kidney, anterior surface left kidney and the tortuosplenic artery, anterior surface of this pancreas, anterior layer of this transverse mesocolon. Sometimes there is a left colic plexus and gastric impression of the stomach come in contact with this posterior inferior surface of the fundus when the stomach is distended, but the spleen is separated from the stomach by recess of the greater sac. So this one are the posterior relation of the stomach. Here you can see this boundary demarcation of the stomach. This one are the lesser curvature, this one are the body fundus of the stomach and body of the stomach, greater curvature pyloric end of the stomach, this one are the cardiac end of the stomach. This central tendon of the diaphragm, here there is a left suprarenal gland, splenic artery, spleen, left kidney, left suprarenal gland, transverse colon, here there is a pancreas, this one are the body of this pancreas, splenic artery, here there is a right kidney, this one are the transverse colon and this one are the descending colon. So this relation name is given the stomach bed or the posterior relation. Now subdivision. Division of the stomach. Stomach is divided into two portions by the line extending from this angular notch of the lesser curvature to the bulge on the greater curvature. Two portions are the cardiac portion and pyloric portion. Cardiac portion is subdivided into two parts by the transverse line passing through the cardiac end. The two parts are the fundus and the body. Fundus lies above the transverse line and dome shape, and body between the transverse line and the line from the angular notch. Pyloric portion is subdivided into the two parts by the constriction. The two parts are the pyloric antrum between the line formed from the angular notch to the constriction, and pyloric canal or the pylorus, terminal part 1 inch long in the wall, contain the circular muscles fiber which form from the pyloric sphincter. So this one are the division of this stomach, cardiac portion and pyloric portion. You see this diagram. This one are the cardiac portion, this one are the pyloric canal or the pyloric portion of the stomach. So subdivision of the stomach divided into this fundus, body and pyloric part. The fundus, it is the part of the stomach above the horizontal plane passing through the cardiac notch. It is filled with air even when the stomach is empty. Fundus extend beneath the left cupula of the diaphragm up to the left fifth intercostal space. When the fundus is much distended with gas, it may be produce cardiac dullness. Second one, this one are the body. So body, it is the separated from the pyloric part by imaginary plane vertical or slightly oblique. Extend from the incisura angularis to a notch on the left side of this pyloric antrum. So the pyloric part, it is subdivided into the pyloric antrum and the pyloric canal. So pyloric antrum and the pyloric canal. A sulcus intermedius intervenes between the pyloric antrum and the pyloric canal. So length of this pyloric part is about 10 cm and pyloric antrum is about 7.5 cm and pyloric canal 2.5 cm. So this one are the stomach part of this stomach. Now next, structures of the stomach. So histologically stomach is divided into this 4 layer: innermost mucous membrane, second muscular wall, longitudinal, circular layer and oblique layer of these muscles. So mucous membrane, thick, vascular and thrown in the fold known as the rugae. The space at the lesser curvature between this prominent longitudinal fold is known as the gastric canal. Second one, it is the muscular wall formed by the 3 layer: longitudinal, circular and oblique. So longitudinal are superficial layer, circular are middle layer at the pyloric from the pyloric sphincter, and oblique is the innermost layer. So gastric rugae or the gastric pits, this one are the typical parts of the stomach. So structures of the stomach is divided into the serous cord, muscular cord and there is a adventitia. So mucous membrane, it is thick, soft and velvety, present the number of this temporary mucosal fold or the rugae, which are the longitudinal in direction. This fold disappear when the stomach is distending. So this part are the histological structures or the microscopic structures of the stomach. You see this diagram, here there is a lower end of this sphincter or the cardiac part, esophagus. This one is the muscularis part, longitudinal layer, circular layer and oblique layer. Longitudinal layer, this one circular layer and oblique layer of this muscle. And this part are the rugae of the stomach. Here there is a appear, this rugae disappear when the stomach is distended. This part is the pyloric antrum, pyloric canal, pyloric sphincter. This one are the muscular thickened part of this muscle, name is given this pyloric sphincter. Now blood supply or the arterial supply of the stomach. Stomach is a part of this foregut, hence it is supplied by the branches of this celiac artery. It is supplied by the 5 artery. Left gastric artery, branch of the celiac trunk, runs along the upper part of this lesser curvature and supply the lower part of this esophagus and upper right part of the stomach. Right gastric artery, branch of this hepatic artery, which is a branch of the celiac artery, near the upper border of this pylorus, runs near the lower part of the lesser curvature and supply the lower right part of the stomach. You see this diagram, arterial supply of the stomach. This one are the celiac trunk, उसकी जो branch है left gastric artery. This one are the hepatic artery. Hepatic artery के branch है cystic artery. Here it divides into this right gastric and this gastroduodenal artery. This one is the superior pancreaticoduodenal artery. On the left side there is a short gastric artery. This one is the left gastric epiploic artery and the right gastroepiploic artery. So right gastroepiploic artery, it is branch of the superior pancreaticoduodenal artery, and left gastroepiploic artery, it is branch from this splenic artery. So this one are the blood supply of this stomach. So mainly it is supplied by this celiac trunk because it is derived from this foregut. So foregut derivative, it is mainly supplied by this stomach. So arterial supply of the stomach is supplied by this celiac trunk directly or indirectly, and the artery reaches the stomach along the curvature. So left gastric artery, it is branch of the celiac trunk and reaches the lesser curvature with the lesser omentum after arching forward along the left or the superior gastropancreatic fold. It is the principal artery of the stomach and supply the upper two-thirds of this organ. Second one at the right gastric artery. This one at the left gastric artery, and here there is a, you see this one at the right gastric artery. तो राइट गैस्ट्रिक आर्टरी किसकी ब्रांच है? कॉमन हेपेटिक आर्टरी की है. वो एनास्टोमोसिस होती है लेफ्ट गैस्ट्रिक आर्टरी के साथ क्लोज टू द लेसर कर्वेचर एंड विद इन द लेसर ओमेंटम. नाउ दिस वन एट द शॉर्ट गैस्ट्रिक आर्टरी जो छोटी छोटी है. दिस शॉर्ट गैस्ट्रिक आर्टरी 3 or 4 in number. It is branch of this splenic artery and supply the fundic part of the stomach. Left gastroepiploic artery, it is branch of the splenic artery, reach the greater curvature along the gastrosplenic ligament and the greater omentum. So this one are the left gastroepiploic artery, branch of this splenic artery. Now right gastroepiploic artery, it is branch of this gastroduodenal artery from the hepatic, and anastomose with the left gastroepiploic artery close to the greater curvature within the anterior two layer of this greater omentum. Posterior gastric artery is arise sometime from the splenic artery, pass upward beneath the omental bursa and supply the posterior wall of this fundus through the gastrophrenic ligament. So this one are the blood supply of this stomach or the arteries of the stomach. So short gastric artery, branch of the splenic artery, which is a branch of the celiac artery at the hilum of the spleen, runs in gastrosplenic ligament, supply the fundus of the stomach. Left gastroepiploic artery, branch of the splenic artery, is branch of the celiac artery, runs hilum of the spleen, runs in gastrosplenic ligament and supply the stomach along the greater curvature. Right gastroepiploic artery, branch from the gastroduodenal branch of the hepatic artery, which is branch from the celiac artery, pass along the greater curvature and supply the lower part of the stomach along the greater curvature. So this one are the arterial circle. The venous drainage, it is same as a arterial pattern. Here there is a left gastric artery, it is by end left gastric and the gastroesophageal branch. This one are the right gastro. Here there is a superior mesenteric, उसकी जो branch है gastroepiploic, left gastroepiploic, and the short gastric artery, prepyloric vein of this myo, but first described by the letter Z. So here this one are the venous drainage of this blood. Venous drainage of this blood. The arteriovenous anastomosis exit in the submucosal cord so that the blood may be sent from the artery to vein without passing through the capillary. This anastomotic channel dilate in persistence hypercolatria, hence the surface epithelium become ischemic due to the lack of the capillary blood flow. Therefore, the persistent hyperacidity may be followed by the peptic digestion of the devialization mucous membrane. So vein drain as follow: right and left gastric vein into the trunk of this portal vein. So right and left gastric vein. This one are the left gastric vein and the right gastric vein. कहाँ पे drain होती है? Portal vein में. Short gastric vein and the left gastroepiploic vein into the splenic vein. So this one are the splenic vein में short gastric and gastroepiploic vein. Right gastroepiploic vein into the trunk of this superior mesenteric vein. So here superior mesenteric vein में drain होती है right gastroepiploic vein. So what is the peculiarity? A portal caval anastomosis is present around the abdominal part of this esophagus, between the esophageal tributaries of this left gastric and the inferior hemizygous vein. In portal obstruction, these veins are distended, produce esophageal varices or the piles. Rupture of these varices result in blood vomiting or the hematemesis. These are the clinical symptom is severe and there is a medical emergency. So venous drainage, there are the 5 veins corresponding to artery. All drain into the portal system as follow. Left and right gastric vein into the portal vein. Short gastric and the left gastroesophageal vein into the splenic vein. And the right gastroesophageal vein into the superior mesenteric vein. Now the lymphatic drainage of the stomach. So lymphatic drainage of the stomach, it is important because any carcinoma of the stomach, you should know about the lymphatic pattern. Consists of the 3 set of these intercommunicating flexes, submucosa, intramuscular and subserosa. So which are the mode of this origin? The first, the lymphatic begins at the subepithelial lymphatic radicle, which are the blind at one end and open at the other from the periglandular flexes. Effluent from the flexes pierce the muscularis mucosa and from the submucosa flexes. So outgoing vessels from these flexes from the successively intramuscular and the subserosa. So here you can see this lymphatic drainage. Majority drain into this left gastric, ultimately drain into this cisterna chylis or the celiac lymph node. On the left side there is a short gastric, splenic and left gastroepiploic artery. So these one are the anterior vagal trunk. It consists of this lymphatic drainage. It is very important because it has a 3 submucosal mode of the secretion. There is a plexus collecting the vessels from the subserosa flexus, accompanying the blood vessels of the stomach and drain into this regional lymph node. From the part of the stomach to the left of the vertical line, draw from the cardiac lymphatic from this area, accompanying short gastric and the left gastroepiploic arteries. So pancreatico-splenic lymph node, then pericardiac lymph node, and from upper 2/3 of this right part of the stomach drain into the left gastric lymph node. From the lower 1/3 of this right part drain into the right gastroepiploic lymph node. From the pyloric part, lymphatic drain into the 3 directions: hepatic group, pyloric group, and the left gastric lymph node. Efferent vessels from the aforesaid lymph node terminate into the celiac group of this pre-aortic node. So what is the peculiarity? At the cardiac orifice, the gastric and the esophageal lymphatic are the continuous at the pyloric orifice. Gastric lymphatic rarely communicate, if at all, lymphatic of the duodenum. Because of this, there is a which factor a connective tissue septum is present in the submucous coat of the pylorus. Circular muscles of the stomach is not continuous with the corresponding muscles of the duodenum. Some of the longitudinal muscle fiber of the stomach turn inward at the pylorus and join with this pyloric sphincter. This explains why the carcinoma of the stomach may spread into the esophagus but does not extend usually into duodenum. So this one are the important of the lymphatic drainage. The gastric lymphatic are the provided with this valve so that the flow of the lymph from the right part of the stomach pass toward the lesser curvature and from the left part of the stomach toward the greater curvature. So this one are the important of this lymphatic drainage of the stomach. They terminate into the right and left gastric and the right and left gastroepiploic lymph node. Efferent from this node drain into the celiac lymph node. Around the root of celiac artery on the posterior abdominal wall. Now nerve supply. So nerve supply of the stomach, it is supplied by this sympathetic from the celiac plexus and by the parasympathetic from the vagus. First sympathetic. तो sympathetic में preganglionic motor fibers है, किसमें कहाँ से आते हैं? Lateral horn T6 and T9 segment में से of the spinal cord, and the fiber reach the celiac plexus via the greater splanchnic nerve. और पोस्ट गैंग्लियन जो फाइबर है वो आते हैं celiac plexus में से and reach the stomach around the perivascular coat of the arteries of the stomach. The sympathetic are primarily vasomotor in function and they stimulate the pyloric sphincter and inhibit the rest of the gastric musculature. The sympathetic sensory sympathetic fiber है convey the painful sensation from the stomach, and their cells body are located in the dorsal root ganglion of the T6 and T9 spinal nerve. This explains why the pain from the gastric ulcer is sometimes felt in epigastric region due to the same segmental supply of this somatic and autonomic nerve. So this one are the sympathetic. From the celiac flexus from by the greater splenic nerve and thoracic sympathetic chain. Efferent carry pain sensation and efferent are the motor to blood vessels and pyloric sphincter. So this one are the innervation of this stomach. You see this diagram, the nerve supply of the stomach. Left vagus use the anterior wall. This one are the celiac branch, hepatic branch and the enteral artery. Anterior and posterior nerve of this letter Z. Right vagus a little away from the posterior wall. Sympathetic greater splenic nerve T5, T9 for decreasing motility. Vasoconstrictor closing pylorus and the sensation. Vagus nerve are 80% sensory, 20% motor for increasing motility, opening pylorus and initiating secretion. Note the highly selective vagotomy destroy vagus to fundus and body but present now to the enteral pump. So it is important of this nerve supply. So here there is a nerve supply of the stomach is complete. Parasympathetic derived from this both vagus and in from the anterior and posterior vagal trunk. It was sympathetic and parasympathetic arise from this vagus. Vagus nerve जो उसका anterior vagal trunk है consist of this 1 to 3 bundle. It formed mostly by the left vagus and is closely applied to the esophagus wall. On entering through the esophageal opening of the diaphragm, each bundle immediately divide into the hepatic and the gastric branch. The hepatic branch जो है pass to the right through the lesser omentum to the reach the portal hepatis and divide into ascending and descending branch. The ascending branch जो है वो liver, gallbladder and biliary passage को supply करती है. जो descending branch है वो pyloric branch उसको बोलते हैं. वो सब divide in from inverted Y to supply the pre-pyloric stomach, pyloric sphincter and the duodenum को supply करती है. In operation of the selective vagotomy, the pre-pyloric branch, the left undivided as such motility of this pre-pyloric stomach is retained without increasing acid secretion. And the gastric branch जो है supply the anterior superior surface of the stomach को supply करती है except pre-pyloric region. वो divide होती है 6 to 10 ब्रांच में. जो मेन गैस्ट्रिक ब्रांच है एंटीरियर वेगल ट्रंक उसको बोलते हैं नर्व ऑफ दिस लेटर जेट. जो एंटीरियर पोस्टीरियर नर्व है ना लेटर जेट. So its name is given this anterior posterior nerve of this letter Z. So nerve of this letter Z, this one are the main gastric branch of this anterior vagal trunk. Follow the close to the lesser curvature within the lesser omentum and extend up to the angular notch. The terminate branches resemble the appearance of this crow foots and supply the pyloric antrum. Now posterior vagal trunk. This one are the right vagus. Here there is a anterior and the posterior vagal trunk. So anterior vagal trunk and posterior vagal trunk formed mainly by the right vagus lies somewhat away from the esophagus. It divides into the gastric and celiac branch. The main gastric branch of the posterior trunk उसको बोलेंगे nerve of this letter Z runs through the lesser omentum close to the lesser curvature and extend up to the angular notch. In its course, it provides a number of these branches which supply the posterior inferior surface of the stomach. Sometimes the posterior vagal trunk gives off about the gastroesophageal junction, a separated branch to the fundus of the stomach. उसको हम बोलेंगे nerve of this Gracie. So this one are this nerve of this Gracie. Anterior, posterior nerves of this letter Z and nerve of this Gracie. उसको हम बोलेंगे nerve of Gracie. The celiac branch pass around the left gastric artery and join with the celiac plexus to supply this other abdominal organ, while the perivascular cord up to the junction of this right 2/3 and the left 1/3 of this transverse colon. So here this one are the preganglionic motor fiber medulla from the dorsal nuclei of this vagus nerve में से अराइज होता है. पोस्ट ganglionic fibers जो होते हैं वो अराइज होते हैं ganglionic cells in mesenteric and the submucosal flexus of the stomach wall. Parasympathetic fibers stimulate the gastric musculature, inhibit the pyloric sphincter, and it secrete motor to the gastric gland. And parasympathetic sensory fibers convey the sensation of hunger and nausea, and their cell body are situated in the ganglion nodosome of this vagal nerve. So these one are the nerve supply of the stomach. So you see this diagram, anterior vagal nerve. This one are the hepatic branch, anterior nerve of this lateral jet, posterior vagal nerve, celiac branch, and posterior nerve of this lateral jet. So this one are the innervation of the anterior half and posterior half. It arises from this medulla vagus nerve and supply this celiac ganglion and innervate to the stomach. So parasympathetic nerve supply the vagus nerve, उसको हम बोलेंगे anterior vagal or the gastric trunk, formed by the left vagus. Enter the abdomen in front of the esophagus, supply the anterior surface of the stomach and liver and pylorus. Posterior vagal or the gastric trunk जो है, it arise right vagus में से आते हैं. Enter the abdomen behind the esophagus, supply the posterior surface of the stomach. Pancreas, intestine up to the right 2/3 of this transverse colon. Efferent related to the gastric reflex and efferent is secretomotor to gland, motor to muscles wall, and inhibited to pyloric sphincter. So this one are this nerve supply. What is the clinical aspect of the stomach? First, gastric ulcer. So clinical aspect is related to most common site at the antrum close to the lesser curvature. So this our name is given this gastric ulcer. So gastric ulcer, it is the ulceration formed at the mucous membrane of the stomach. Name is given this gastric ulcer. So pathophysiology of this peptic ulcer result from this peptic digestion of the deviation mucous membrane with assistance of the HCl. The ulcer affect the stomach, the proximal part of the duodenum, most common terminal part of this esophagus, mucous diverticulum, and sometimes the stoma of the jejunum after the gastrojejunotomy. It is intrapathy between these two factors, aggregation agent of the acid pepsin favoring ulcer formation and the mucous defense prevent the peptic ulcer. So here there is a gastric ulcer and peptic ulcer is two different anomalies. Peptic ulcer mostly occur at this duodenum. And hypertrophic pyloric stenosis is the congenital defect, section of this vagustum or the vagotomy, truncal vagotomy or the vagotomy. Acid secretion is aggregate, then there is a lead to this ulceration. So this one are the applied anatomy related to the stomach. Second one, there is a, you see this another are the ulcer on the posterior wall may perforate into the lesser sac and become adherent to the pancreas. Erosion of the pancreas cause the referred pain on the back. Erosion of the splenic artery led to the hemorrhage. Perforation of the ulcer from the anterior wall led to the leakage of this content of the stomach in greater sac and cause the peritonitis. It may adherent to the liver. So here there is, you see this clinical gastric ulcer or the erosion of this mucosa within this stomach mucosal wall, there is a erosion to form a peptic ulcer or the gastric ulcer. So gastric carcinoma or the abnormal growth of the stomach, either there may be adenoma or adenocarcinoma. So adenoma, it is the growth within this epithelium. So there is simple column epithelium, it may get eroded and there is a formation of this multiple tumor-like structures. Name is given this adenoma or the adenocarcinoma. So this one are the applied anatomy related to the stomach. Now second one, there is another clinical anatomy. What is the cause of this pain? Why it is pain is refer of the epigastric region. Because the young man is suffering from the gastric ulcer, the sympathetic nerve to the stomach are supply the segment T6, T9 of the spinal cord, which also supply the upper part of this abdominal wall. So pain of the gastric ulcer is refer to the epigastric region. So pain of this foregut derived area is referred to epigastric region, those of the midgut derived organ per-umbilical region, while those of this hindgut derived viscera to suprapubic region. So this a lifestyle change is recommended in such a case. So here there is a carcinoma. Another applied anatomy, gastric carcinoma, common at the greater curvature of the stomach, and the gastric pain caused by the stretching of this bone or the distension, spasmodic contraction carried by the sympathetic nerve via the greater splanchnic nerve to the T6 T9 spinal segment. So it is referred to the epigastrium. Gastroscopy means direct visualization of the stomach by the flexible fibrotic instrument endoscope. It also used to take the mucosal biopsy. Nasogastric intubation in the patient with severe debilitating illness. So here this one are the clinical aspect of this stomach. You see this diagram. These are the scopy, gastroscopy. This instrument is used for the gastroscopy. Visualize the interior part of the stomach. So this probe or the instrument is introduced within the stomach. You can identify the any pathological condition within this mucosa of the stomach. So here there is a complete the class of the stomach. You may read from the clinical anatomy of the Richard Snell or the Gray anatomy of the students, or you can refer the Chorasium, BD Chorasium. So here there is a complete the class of the stomach. Now, thank you. So